3 years ago, I came back to YouTube after nearly quitting in 2018. And when I did come back, I decided to switch my strategy entirely when it came to approaching YouTube and how I made my videos. I wanted to make things that weren't necessarily the biggest things out there, but instead my own creations, to be unique and simple, but stand out from the rest of the creators who were on the platform at the time. It lasted for a measly 4 months, and then I would leave the platform again for another 4.5 months, beginning in August 2019. When I properly returned, in January of 2020, things started to change. I set my focus towards growth, uploading the best videos that I could possibly make, and well, 2021 ended up changing the channel again, focusing on whatever I wanted, ditching the series style format that I had been using for nearly 2 years. Now, we stand a full year since I switched my content style, and it's paid off. This milestone is something that I never saw coming. I never really expected it to hit because when we were never growing for 5 years, at what point do you consider that it's just gonna magically get to here? Every day I would be waking up thinking, hoping at least, that the next video would be the big one, that it would blow up. And even when the growth did come, I would wake up and see what's the sub count at today. A lot of this didn't start really begging my mind until when the channel stopped growing slowly, or when the channel did start growing in January of this year. I honestly never really thought that this video would even be made pretty much ever. This is the 1,000 subscriber milestone video. And there is a lot that I want to cover because this also serves as a normal Pandaren update. There's stuff that I want to address with the main issues that have plagued this channel to get here, and well, come on, you think this is the only way that I plan on celebrating what is quite literally the biggest milestone in this channel's history. I do have a special announcement for later in the video that's going to be helping celebrate this insane milestone, so please stay tuned. But I think it's properly time to talk, so sit down, let's talk, and celebrate. It's clear to say that getting to 1,000 subscribers isn't easy. I mean, let's be honestly even more real, being a YouTuber isn't easy. And for anybody that's looking to get in this field, I have to make it clear to you, YouTube can and will mentally destroy you. It's a tough business with seeing numbers and losses and the wonders of why YouTube Studio simply does not provide enough information to tell you what's wrong and how to fix it. And to be completely honest, I would relate that a lot of the big creators on this platform would say the same thing. If you're somebody that has mental issues, YouTube is not your place. And if you're going to come into this field, you better be ready to struggle, because it's not going to be easy. There is one looming issue that has plagued this channel, I would argue, since day one of its creation. It's the issue that, while I have addressed it in its smaller forms, I think I need to explain it in its true full form to allow you to fully grasp it. Financial instability. The single biggest reason why this channel, in my opinion, took this long to get to 1,000. It is something that many people experience across the country, so I'm not saying this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and the pandemic of COVID-19 has only increased people losing their homes and etc. You'll notice here that there are 3 major subgroups, ranging from hardware, software, and personal limitations. I'm going to go through each one in the order that I just said to get you an idea of what we're dealing with. Hardware limitations is something that I've talked about numerous times before, whether it be in videos or just standard Pandaren updates. And it's no surprise that the crypto mining boom and lack of semiconductors of the recent years, buying new PC components pretty much is not as easy as it used to be. And knowing now that I'm on an end-of-life platform, being on AMD's AM4 platform, I realize that if I'm going to upgrade, I'd rather upgrade to Intel's offerings with their 12th gen Alder Lake CPUs, which is going to require a lot of crap. Especially because my GPU is, let's be real, a trash box, and trying to find graphics cards on the market is so hard that you better be off buying an actual game console instead. Admittedly, while graphics card prices have definitely decreased in the last few months, they are still over MSRP, and it's not like I could just drop $1,000 on a completely new gaming rig either. Putting hardware limitations onto the video side of things, I tend to not make videos on games that either run good, but look bad. Let's take Forza Horizon 5 here as a good example. Yes, Forza Horizon 5 does run on my PC, but it runs it at the lowest settings at 40 FPS. To put that into perspective, my Xbox One that was manufactured 7 years ago, well before my PC's parts were manufactured, can run it better and smoother. I want to be able to have the hardware to where I can make and play games and videos while making sure that they both look and perform good. Basically a balance, if you will. It's probably the reason why even if I had the opportunity to make an episode on games like Dying Light 2 as an example, it probably wouldn't happen because due to hardware limitations, it would just not be worth it. In a lot of cases, Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite's episodes from the last few months of 2021 almost didn't happen simply due to hardware issues. And in most cases, hardware issues can also be directly related to the next topic that we're going to talk about, and that is software issues. When I say software issues, I tend to mean mainly two things: the editing and rendering side of things, and games. Hardware is needed to edit and render, because you need a lot of cores for processing to render your footage, and the more demanding footage you're running, whether that be 1440 or 4K or even just 1080p footage, you're going to need more processing power and graphical power to render and run your footage. But when you're running on only 4 cores from a CPU made roughly 5 years ago, and a graphics card made from 7 years ago, combine that you're rendering and editing at 1080p 60 FPS, it crashes quite a lot. I mean, I'll even go on record to say that the amount of crashes that I've had while making the entirety of the winning Mario Party on the Hardest Board in AI series is so high that I could probably write an entire children's chapter book about all the crashes. On the game side of things, buying full-price $60 games isn't necessarily a luxury that I have. I mean, let's be completely honest here, I only tend to get games once every few months because not a lot of things interest me, or just because I can't get $60 games. The exceptions, of course, being my birthday or Christmas, because I'll get actually a couple of games, but we'll cross that out for the time being. And even then, I tend to never buy games straight from an actual retailer, whether it's Amazon or stuff like that. It's pretty rare when I do that, and I usually tend to buy them on the used market for a cheaper price. Because at the end of the day, I would rather get a game that's $40 rather than buying it new to get $60. It's pretty straightforward. But bear in mind that when I do get games, I'm tending to get most of them on consoles, because it kind of loops back into the hardware issues stemming from earlier, that I know that most of these games that I'm buying simply aren't going to run on my PC, because they're simply too demanding, and because you end up having a system where it runs good but it looks bad, so I'm not going to make a video on it. And at the end of the day, I tend to not really buy games for the purpose of my own self-enjoyment. I buy games to make videos on because I love doing this, and I want to make sure I'm pumping videos out. But if I can't find games that run good on a PC, then we start to have issues. Therefore, software issues kind of feeds back into hardware issues, and then it kind of relays right back into software issues. So hopefully you're still up to speed, because now we're going to move into the next one, and that is personal limitations. So basically, let me put it to you this way. Let's say that this channel, definitely blew up. I mean, we're talking like 100,000 subscribers, we got a silver play button, I don't know, 50,000 views a video, we're being monetized and we're pulling revenue in, okay? This is where the personal limitations come into play. Currently, I don't really have anywhere to send revenue to, so it's gonna have to go to my parents, and I mean, let's be completely honest here, I highly doubt I would actually get the revenue to myself to pump back into YouTube. So therefore, I fear that I don't really want to be monetized for that sole reason. On top of this, the likelihood of, say for example, making my bedroom a recording studio with soundproof filters, proper desk, and not being in a corner of a room surrounded by 6 different computers and what looks like a hacking corporation and a quiet workspace is something that is so far out of reach that it's basically the same as watching a plant grow in real time. It's gonna take forever. I mean, that begs the question, why do you think I make way more scripted videos than I do commentated ones? It's mostly because I can make scripted videos easier than I can commentated because the house is always super loud. Would I love to stream on YouTube or something? Sure, if it was a lot more quiet and I had the ability to do it. And that kind of ties back into hardware issues, because I definitely can't stream. So, I guess for the time being, I'm just kind of stuck right here in this little area, but I mean, let's be real, it's working, so I mean, I'm not really going to complain, but I still would like to have my own setup kind of thing. Those limitations that I just mentioned at least, are the reasons why I never do collabs. Because I know that it's going to be super loud, I know I don't have a lot of time to work with, And therefore, it's why I don't do collabs, because I know that it usually isn't going to go the way I want it. I mean, heck, even when I was raid leading in World of Warcraft, I would get told to be quiet when dishing out callouts. And yes, that legitimately happened, and it's why I quit raid leading early into the current expansion. Regardless, financial instability has probably been the leading plague that this channel has suffered through since day one. But, and there's always a but, I mean obviously, there is something else looming on the horizon. One that I literally cannot say no to because, well, I don't really have a choice in the matter. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the second main roadblock that's coming to the channel, and that is college. Being the, well, I don't know, I guess you call it prodigy that I am, or in this case, the prodigy of completing schoolwork, quote, incredibly fast. Well, let's put it this way, is it going to come back to bite me in my bum later? Absolutely. What would I even go to college for, you're probably asking? Well, there's really only two ideas at this point. Either it's a degree in what I'm doing now on YouTube, maybe some kind of commercial and ad designer for a company, and funneling my learnings in those classes right back into YouTube. Again, I enjoy doing what I do here, and whatever I'm doing here, I'm probably going to take elsewhere into college and future job opportunities. Or, the one that I don't actually think I've told anybody about, so this could be a shock. What about being a journalist? It's something that I'm interested in, because, well, I mean, come on, I write these scripts, so do you think it would be that hard? But it's through all of these issues that I remember that there's one thing that keeps me going. That whenever I feel like it's time to hang it up, or just quit, or go do something else, I remember the thing that tells me to keep pushing forward, regardless of the circumstances. For that, let's go back. A long ways back, actually. Long before PandaPowerSauce even existed. 8 years ago, when I first discovered YouTube. When I had friends both in school and online on Steam. And when I actually, I think, had a girlfriend. That's if she ever saw me as her boyfriend or not. I wanted to be like the people that inspired me. The people that I grew up with. And the people who gave me the strength to continue moving forward. Some of the creators that I once knew are, let's just say, not really respected as well, and others are unfortunately no longer with us, whether they passed away or simply quit the platform years ago. To some that are still around and doing God knows what, and others that are running strong for what they were known for. To the creators that have come and risen in the last 5 years, the use of things like Minecraft Monday and Minecraft Championships, I want to be just like them. Even if it takes somewhere up to 10 years to do it. I promised myself, my friends, and many others, even if they don't remember, that I would become the best content creator on the platform. It's a pretty bold statement to make, huh? And now that we're at a point where viewers are finding the channel more, I have to start putting everything into what I can do. Because after all, hitting 1,000 is just the first major milestone in a many more milestones that are set for the future. It's just the beginning of this journey, if you really think about it. And with that, I think it's time for my special announcement. To celebrate 1,000 subscribers, I didn't just want to make one single video like all the big boys on this platform. Oh no. I wanted to do something big. Something that would stand out from everything else on this channel up to this point. Something much bigger than just one video. Something that had to be planned and recorded months in advance, long before this was even considered or anything else. With that, I would like to show you the trailer for my 1,000 subscriber celebration. Please enjoy. Okay, so what I'm getting at is that I'll be sent there if I don't buy an Apple product. Alright, cool.
I'm here to raid, I'm here to rob. What is this? Everybody's over there and they're like, hey, we're alive and all.
A romantic restaurant. It's gonna be slightly different than its original.
Like, subscribe before I eat your brain.
Ramsey from Fast and Furious, Dominic Toretto, in our last project, Final Hours. Yeah, to be completely honest, this parking lot of this Wendy's definitely ain't looking so good.
Oh my god!
So like jazz, I'm like... Well, what did you think? You saw it first. All of April is set to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers. 12 total videos, each being based on nostalgic games or videos that have either been on this channel before or have simply never been on this channel before, as deleted videos from long before the era of PandaPowerSauce. Videos will be dropping starting Monday, April 4th, and will release every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 AM Pacific Standard Time. It's completely unknown if Nostalgia Month is set to be a yearly event, and it's really going to depend on how well this year goes. So if it does go well, that's cool. If you want to watch the videos all together, the entirety of Nostalgia Month is going to get put into its own playlist and be put on the main channel page, or if you want to watch them individually, all of the videos will be going into their respective playlists as well. So, as an example, if you want to watch one specific Minecraft video, you'll find it in Minecraft's playlist. If you want to watch a Forza Veteran episode, it'll be over in Forza Veteran's playlist. But they'll also be in Nostalgia Month as well. Before I go, I want to talk about the future. What's next for this channel? Primarily speaking for after Nostalgia Month. I originally wanted to make this part of the video like its own separate video at the end of, April coming into May, but I figured I would just include it now because I feel that it's better to do it. And let me tell you, it's gonna be rough. I'm slowly but surely running out of videos to make, mainly due to a lot of the limitations that I said earlier, but I don't really have many things to make videos on that interest me. At the moment, May is already being pieced together, there's already some videos figured out, and pretty much after May, it's entirely unknown. I don't really know what's releasing at that point, I don't know what I'm going to be able to make at that point, and considering the fact that it's going to be summer in one of the hottest cities on the planet, the likelihood of me actually filming a lot is pretty low. So that should be a bit of a warning saying that summer of this year is going to be pretty tame and quiet compared to the rest of the year. But with that being said, the channel may slow down in content moving forward after Nostalgia Month, because I'm simply just running out of things to make that interest me. But even if the channel does slow down, I'm going to make sure that even if it does, that the videos are going to keep getting better and better, as they have for the last year. And while this channel may one day see proper monetization, I'm probably not going to join the YouTube partnership program right away. People always say to me, and I think many others would say to friends and family, that if you're doing something that you're not getting paid for, or if you're not earning something out of it, then why are you doing it? You should just quit. You should just go do something else that would actually, benefit you. And to the people who say that, I say, you're wrong. People have their own dreams and passions, and this is it. You're looking right at it. I mean, you think creators do what they love for money? I mean, sure, there are some that do YouTube solely for money. I mean, we can look at probably Lipsy Gypsy as an example, but not all of them. We do it for the community, the love of creation, and it's honestly just as fun as being a kid again. I don't go back on the promises that I made, and I intend to keep my YouTube dream that I've had since I was 11 years old a reality. Regardless if anyone thinks I'm completely crazy in doing so, because I mean, let's be real, I am kind of crazy. Have you seen my videos? Nothing is going to stop me from getting to be with the big boys on YouTube. Nothing is going to bring me, my videos, or this channel down like it has in the past. And nothing is going to get in my way ever again, because I made a promise.